gonna pop in.
Did we go live?
We're live.
We are.
Chuck is not ready.
We
Chuck
popped
wanted
in
the
like
intro.
unwanted relatives.
My
like
light's
the
still
intro,
blue.
man.
My
At
light's still
breakfast.
blue.
Get some circulation, Ape.
That's right.
No.
Who's running this thing? Me?
You're
morning,
in the upper
everybody.
left, son.
So we
like I'm playing cards with my brother's
we're making
kid.
this for Shane. You said this is for
Yeah,
Shane.
Adventures
Yes.
in Blind Videography.
Adventures in Blind Videography. Shane asked us to build him an antenna because he's unable to do that. So we're going to do that today. And well, I'm going to do that today. The other guys are just going to make
We're
fun
gonna
of the
make
whole
fun
time.
of Chuck, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Try and make
So-
it hard for him.
But hopefully these guys will do a little narration of what's going on because my microphone's going to be way over there, so it's not going to work very well. But what's going on, Ape? You got something going? Have you put a video out lately?
I
haven't
have
seen
not.
anything
So
lately.
like in the last month, I think I put out two videos. I changed jobs, and so I've been super duper busy with that.
Now you're the boss's boss.
Yeah, and a little bit demotivated, but I did pick this up. This is TFFN, I believe is what it is. And it's 500 feet of 18 gauge stranded copper wire. And I got it because I wanted to do high vis radials in the yard because the lawnmower guy. So, I mean, that was really the thing. And some folks use this stuff for antennas, and I had read up. But this stuff has got like crazy memory in it. Like, see,
Does it have the clear coating over it too? Like
It's house wire.
It's slippery, but it has a PVC. So like most PVC is a little tacky, but this stuff is like super slippery. But
TFFN.
THHN.
THHN. But I think I still like the B and Techco that we use a lot better. It
I
doesn't
didn't
have
know
the
what.
CF.
I was. That's why I
stuff's
was
pretty-
asking. It's like, what is TFFN?
That stuff's pretty durable though. It's got
What is it,
it's got a
THHN?
clear
Is that what
coating.
TH.
too,
Thanks, Andy.
Also,
Thermoplastic, high heat, something.
But anyhow, 500 feet of it was like $50.
Yeah.
that's not bad.
That's because all the people stealing the copper.
actually-
That's the replacement for the
that's
copper
actually
they steal out of
cheap.
the houses.
Actually,
Yeah, well,
it's actually really cheap.
it is cheap. But
What gauge is that? That looked thicker than 20.
18.
18.
Yeah, so it's 18 gauge. And I got a new camera, but you can see like I got a little bit of green around my hand, and this thing's got a little. Like, I haven't gotten quite.
I hope you didn't pay more than $50 for that camera.
Right. I'd be sending that bastard back. I'm just saying.
You guys are. You ought to send you back. So the thing is that
Free up
it
my
was
Saturday
it's,
morning.
it's the MX
green on
Brio.
mine.
It's
No
it
green
was
on mine.
$200.
My green screen is on point. Look how good mine is.
Yeah. You guys just
So
think that's my
3D.
back of my room
Look
there.
at that depth of field.
Hey, Crusader.
Fred, where?
How about you? How about you, Jim? What do you got going on, man? Anything exciting?
Man, no, I don't. There's nothing exciting in my life at
That's
all.
what I figured.
Shane is here watching, folks, so we can't
There he
talk
is.
bad about him.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's not
Shane.
bad.
Thank you
Thank
for the
you,
super chat.
Y'all want to know what kind of person Shane is? Shane calls me a sighty to my face.
Dead blind son of a gun. We're talking some
Yeah.
crap about him now.
He says I'm one of those light dependent types, and he's right.
No, Chuck,
I
I've got videos I got to work on today, and got 2 or 3 that have got to get done today.
I put that one out yesterday because I've had that Variac for like 2 or 3 weeks, but I was sick, and I didn't put a video out for like a full month.
It's been
seen
two.
it, but
It's
this
been
stuff
2
is
weeks since I did.
That's some
high
fancy-
count.
That
It's
That's
like
good.
high count.
It's
Strand.
like
I built-
Egyptian cotton.
I built a fan dipole out of
Yeah,
that stuff.
dude.
It was kind of heavy.
10,000
for that.
thread count.
And Tio, I'm gonna let you talk about what we're up to. Starting.
Yeah, we're going to
I'm
Yellowstone.
Monday.
Yeah, we're going on. I'm leaving Monday also, and then I've got this weird stopover Monday night to do the Ham Nuggets live stream, and then I'm doing a Prime Day live stream Tuesday morning for when Prime Day starts. So I got like multiple hours that I can't be on the road. It's gonna be fun.
Right.
This is Frank Fest that you're going to.
Yeah, Frank set this up in Yellowstone, or I like to call it Jellystone. We're gonna meet up with Yogi and those guys, but we nothing bad, but we probably should have done this a month ago before school was out, because it's going to be very busy up there from what I understand. Now I haven't been, so I'm just going by my buddy Javi his cousin goes there a lot, and he goes, "Oh, wow, you guys should have went a month earlier." Because
speaking of
the kids are
earlier,
out of school. Yeah,
you need to get building, son, so we get this thing done on the show.
Chip chop, chip chop, Charlie.
This thing. I will change cameras. You guys can do whatever you're going to do, and
This is how we do this.
It's that one.
we do it.
Number 4.
And there we go. I will show you what's in the kit, and then we'll get building. Hopefully I remember how to do this.
Hollywood, you're a winner every day, my friend.
Hollywood's awesome.
Let's do this first. Let me see something here.
He sent me some links. He sent me a 600-page manual. That
Have you
well,
read
I'm
that
appreciative. It's a lot of reading, son. You know,
He told you get your shine box is what he did.
he pretty much
snap.
did.
He said you don't know nothing.
Well, he told me he would send it to you, but you can't read. So
I can't read. I can't.
So that's where we are with that.
So I'm just going to get some of the parts out of the way. This is the wire we're given. This is BNTeco silicone. Right now we're doing orange because the orange kind of goes good with the black there, doesn't
I
it?
like the orange and the black. It's sexy.
I do too. So,
And
but
this is
I'm
the-
not going
the
to cut
side
that
band.
today. I won't be cutting that today because I need more room. I don't have a lot of room in this. Although I do actually cut a lot of my antennas here, but I'll do that later. Let's just, so I've already set up, let's talk about this a second. Now, I put the BNC in already just to speed things up. I bent this. I put mine, if you're looking at this like this, I put mine on the right because I'm right-handed. Abe puts his over on the left because he's left-handed.
The way
What that
Jesus
does is-
intended.
What that does is
Jesus was right.
I can
Science.
I can wind my radials or my grounds radials here, and then when I turn it over, I'll turn it over and I'll wind the other way for the line. It's just my preference in the way that I do it. All right, so let's just pull out the parts here.
Another one of those people not in their right minds.
Here we go.
What?
Not you, Chuck.
All the lefties are piping up in the chat, giving Ape the left-handed support.
So
That's
there's you get a large heat shrink. I usually don't use the heat shrink. If you don't do a good job, it's really nice to hide your work, but
It's really shrink wrap, right? It's that you heat.
Yeah.
It's not like heat shrink
Yeah.
like you would put on like a wire or something like that.
and you
battery heat
get
shrink.
you get your sticker. All right.
And I think the other concern is, I don't use it either. The other thing is, it's going to keep that toroid a lot warmer too during operation.
So we get the.
I like to keep my toroid aired out.
If you guys notice, a lot of companies, you'll buy built antennas, they won't give you this, but this is a really nice little way to
Thanks,
keep it
Jared.
wrapped up. This antenna comes with this, and this is the little disc we just did up, and it works really good on your 10 meter or even your 12 meter poles to mount the top of your antenna to. This antenna is what, 25 feet, I think, if I recall.
We're telling them to send it 25 feet and 4 inches, I think, to account for tying it off or something.
Yeah, and what I do, I put a little bend in the mast just to keep it kind of taut. We get the ape version of wire ties because we got to have way more than we need.
Ape and Chuck, Steve and I were crying because Daddy and Daddy were just,
I know.
our two dads were fighting.
Just stop.
You
Please,
get the little
I'll be
clip here.
good.
Get
Hey,
the little
Walter.
clip that hooks your antenna to the top there.
Walt
Walt with his
with your
uneven
metric.
Walt
outta here.
is up in Connecticut these days, I believe.
Is it?
Or
You get a
maybe
little
it's
bit of
New
heat shrink. Now
New
in the
Hampshire.
instructions, a lot of times it says you get 2. I just made them longer now, so you get
Right, 4
one
or
that's
5.
longer. Get a couple of connectors. I already have one that has the top off. If you guys, I don't like using the little red parts. I'd rather, and a lot of times I don't even put the heat shrink on anymore because everything's kind of shorted to itself. So who cares, right? But
Chuck doesn't like booty, is what he's telling you.
yeah, I don't like that red booty.
Rhode Island.
You get
Rhode
two. You get two
Bob
wires.
Bill's in a chat.
Hey, Bill.
Get 2 of these, and somehow I've got them.
And 4-5 is on fire this morning with his commentary, so he He must have had an extra large coffee and some bacon.
Well, he
or something.
keeps talking like a heretic. He's going to get banned.
That's
then
true.
We don't use no metric.
He's from Texas talking about.
There's the
metric.
magic, guys, right there. That's what makes us work. And Ape, you can explain why we use what we use. Actually, it's actually more efficient than the one that most people use, the red ones.
Yeah, it's a powdered iron core. It's called a Type 52, not to be confused with a ferrite mix 52 core. And we got a lot of grief around picking it at first, and then even when Chuck picked it, I gave him a lot of grief behind the scenes. We did a lot of testing on it, and we found out it's actually really good with heat tolerance. And it's not as efficient as the ferrite cores, but it was the most efficient in our testing of the powdered iron cores. And we picked it because it kind of gave us a broadband capability across most of the HF from 40 through 6. And we wanted an antenna that was tunable with a 3-to-1 or less antenna tuner, being that it's a portable antenna. We're looking at a similar antenna for like a QTH installation for higher power, and that will probably end up with a ferrite core. But the reason being is that people generally have a more robust tuner in their home shack versus out in the field.
So I burned 2.5 inches at the start here, guys. It's all in the instructions when you buy the antenna.
Now notice how Chuck pushes that wire through with his thumb. That is the easiest way to do this kink free. So a lot of times people take the end of the cord, end of the wire, and feed it through the hole and pull it. And then when you do that, you run the risk of kinking your wire. Now I know some of y'all like it kinky, but you don't want to kink that wire.
Andy, I see your comment. I'm ignoring you.
You know, our buddy Salty Walter is saying that this is where he
Salty
says the
Walty.
G90 and the tuner again. The G90 is actually a tuner with a radio attached, as opposed to a radio with a tuner attached.
I still think that's probably the best deal going in ham radio today.
Well,
is the
I was going to
G90.
say, because that tuner's pretty robust. It has a decent SWR meter built into it, so you can actually see what's going on a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, it's a pretty nice deal.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's got more features than a certain high-priced Big 3 radio.
Are you talking about the 891?
I was talking about the 705.
Well, that's where
7.0 failure.
you're grossly misinformed there, but
Either one.
It has a tuner.
so that's one.
705 ain't
but
got a tuner.
That's one.
It has 20 watts, twice the power.
Twice
But
the
it also
power,
it
the
also has
705.
it also has about 50 different firmware versions. I only think 2 of them work correctly.
That's probably true, but
but it
feature-wise, already
is a
beats
good
the
radio.
705.
We can talk about all the problems with the 705, like RFI, interference.
Right?
Well, that is a problem with your installation, not the 705 per se.
Oh,
So if
look
I
at-
take the 705 out and I put a different radio in, and the new radio is not susceptible to it, it's still not the
Well,
705 problem.
Well, the thing is that the problem's the RFI, right? And so it is more sensitive, but it's because it has more electronic components in it.
Speaking of sensitive,
I know you're right. You're showing your OM. Here's Chuck counting. It's the 4. He gets mixed up around 4 and 5.
I
Robert's
hate to
saying
do
it's
too
only
many.
445 right now.
I think I got mine at like $3.99 when I bought it.
I thought I had seen them on sale for right at 4 every so often. Yep.
There we go.
Like Black Friday, maybe.
100% Hollywood.
Chuck had to stop and recount. I saw that.
I know. Well, I'm listening to you guys jabber there, so.
Just yammering.
Now, you can, and I made this a little easier for Jim when he did his first one. You can mark this with 8 little, like, top, bottom, side, and then you can put marks
Quarter
on
it,
here.
yeah.
So, and quarter it out, so it actually works pretty good. 3, 4.
It's
5,
actually just
7.
an easy way to keep up with your wire count, too, so you don't have to stop. I mean, 8's a long way, right? Doc Brad, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Doc said, why do you think the big makers don't make better tuners in the rigs like the G90? Especially
Thanks,
when
Doc.
some are marketing field versions. I don't know. I don't know if there's some huge cutoff electronically to go from a 3-to-1. I assume the 710 has a 3-to-1 tuner in it. I don't have one. I don't know.
The 710, 3-to-1.
Yeah.
It's a really good 3-to-1.
How hard would it be to put a 10-to-1 tuner in any of these radios as opposed to a 3-to-1?
It's physical real estate. That's
Right.
all.
And it's also cost too, right?
Well, yeah,
So-
but
Like when Icom puts a radio out like a 705, they have years of R&D. And then a company like Zygu, and I'm not hating on Zygu, in the time that Icom spends developing a radio, will put out 3 or 4 different radios, right? And the G90 was really like catching lightning in a bottle, where it is insanely popular, and so that will likely be around for a while. But if you look at the GSOC that they originally developed, there's no support like for that anymore. It's end of life. Same thing will be happening with the 6100, right? And
Yeah,
and I would imagine
5105's kind of end of life also.
right.
Ron loves his Poseidon.
Awesome, Ron.
So we got our eight turns here, guys. Can we get that a little
Nice.
closer, or is that good?
T.O.
Good.
Jonathan is asking about the tuna.
So I would have to have the manual, and I don't read manuals, but it is listed in the G90 manual what its impedance matching capability is. So the shorter version of that answer is I don't know.
Yeah, the G90 says it does 10-to-1, but that's from an ohms standpoint. What it doesn't do is it doesn't tell you the amount of inductance or capacitance that it can apply to something. So a lot of times you'll see like on a 3-to-1 tuner where it's more than 150 ohms, but it can still tune because of the composition of the reactance.
Oh, Chuck's got a knife out. Watch out.
Yeah,
You got that one on
I
speed
actually
dial?
Where's the
actually
Dremel,
packed-
son?
I packed it. It's going to Yellowstone with
Going to
me 'cause I
Yosemite.
got projects.
Yellowstone. I don't know why I
So-
said Yosemite.
So basically, we're going to tie these 2 wires together to start with, and then one's going to go into the BNC. So I need to strip this out so we can get a good solder. Let me turn my soldering iron on.
While Chuck's waiting for his tip to heat up. Live and in the field. Look at that. Coffee and Ham Radio Cup. We're everywhere.
Awesome.
Who's this?
This is from David, AB9YG.
Nice.
And big in that picture again. See what he's working with there, if we can
Okay. All right. Hold on.
tell. Liberty Cave's like a Dremel for camping. That's Chuck for you. He's taking that Variac with him too.
Let me open it in the
yeah.
browser and share the browser.
It looks like he's got it looks like a 891 maybe? Or is that
Hold
a
on.
G90?
Hold on. I think that's a 891 with rails looking at the buttons on top. I believe. Let's do this. Stop. Plus. Share. Tab. Share. Come back because it changed tabs on me. Add to stage. There we go.
Let me take this comment out of there.
Yeah, it's an
Look
891.
at that sexy mug. Look at that sexy mug.
And that's a nice tumbler too.
That is a great I was talking about the tumbler. All right. Can we identify the radio?
Yeah, it's an 891.
Yeah.
It's a nice 3D printed rails on there.
He's got his
Pretty
rain
nice
gear
rails.
for it just in case. I want to know what laptop. Is that crap top? No, that
No.
don't look like a crap top.
Looks
That
like an HP.
HP. Mm-hmm.
That looks like a set pair of Merrill boots, or are they Keens in the background?
Oh, those look like.
Hey, Marvin.
You could scroll
All right.
up. You could
Yeah, I'm
scroll up.
trying
There you
to.
go.
Wrong window. All right.
So you got to make sure you get all this stuff off, guys. Well, you guys ready?
Oh, Chuck is still doing his thing. I forgot about Chuck.
If I'd known you guys didn't have me on the screen, I would have been getting this thing closer where it's faster to work with. All right. So we're going to take these two center ones. I like to get them kind of close to the toroid because you don't have a whole lot of room.
Shane's saying that the G90 is more accessible to blind hams. Well, I'm just going to tell you, Shane. Even people who are sighties like To and me, we can't see the screen on a G90 either.
He doesn't have glasses thick enough.
Right. Easy,
no,
Chuck.
not that wire. The red wire.
Oh, shoot.
We are, Paul.
Build up Poseidon.
I probably have enough off here already, but I'm just
No, Chuck, take it all off.
going to make sure.
Careful what you say, To. Sometimes he...
Right. Go slower.
Iowa Hank is asking, does it matter if it's a left-hand twist or right-hand twist?
Right hand rule.
I say yes.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever you like.
Hank, if you're a lefty, you're probably going to do a twist like this, and if you're a righty, you're going to do a twist like that. I mean, whatever.
Well, so what happens is when you put RF to it, it actually unwinds. So you have to do it right
That is hot.
way.
The right way.
Yeah,
The
with
only way.
with the way that we wind this core, though, it is a Ruthoff voltage and it's got symmetry, so you can mount it upside down. It doesn't matter.
Doc, thank you for the super chat. He wants MFA to take over and create his own production manual tuner.
That's right. Well, Shane's saying that he likes a 705, but the G90 is just really convenient. And I got to tell you, I was looking for, this is a few years back, a radio that I could just take out and use and then have it be easy. And I was looking at the 891 and the G90, and I went with the G90. And I'm pretty confident that I'd make the same decision today if I was buying a radio.
I like the 891 is a brick. I mean, it's solid, right? Been in production a long time. But Ape and I have, I think, almost the same complaint about the 891 is getting to anything in there is kind of a pain in the butt. Changing power is a giant pain in the butt.
Well, everybody's going to freak when I say this, but I don't like that it doesn't have a waterfall display.
That too. And I could live with that because I can use software to get a waterfall off of the 891. That's not really a huge deal breaker for me, but
it's got a band scope.
yeah, it's just
That's good enough.
It's got an LCD ghetto scope is what it's got. Hey, this is what the spectrum looked like 37 seconds ago when it's screen painted with crayon.
Right, it's got a refresh rate of about once every 45 seconds.
Yes.
I'm not
Still
hating. I
faster
mean,
than
it's a
a
good
991A.
radio. And
Oh, it's a great radio. It's like an operator feature that I really don't care for.
it has a
Now,
great
I've never-
front end. The front
never
end
had
on
a
it's
G90.
much better than a G90.
Yeah. And I'm sure the guts of the 891 are 100 times better than a G90. But the G90 has some really nice operator features that, you know.
Now, would you want a radio with a waterfall in your car as you're driving?
I wouldn't do HF in the car driving.
I'm not interested in HF in the car at all. Yeah.
I do. I've done it before,
Yeah, I have. It's neat.
but I'm not scared.
It's good for your passengers. Like, oh, what's that? Eye candy.
It's eye candy. Sorry, guys.
Martin, I mean, I'm not making any suggestions here, but, you know, you're at a strip club. Chuck is performing, so you don't have to put him in his G-string or nothing. So that's a plus.
With Chuck's size, it's really more of an H string.
I mean, radio-wise, Walt, I think the 891 is a better radio with probably better guts. But the user features on it, and I've had an 891. I have not had a G90. But
I traded my G90 to Thump. He was building a Go box, and he wanted a G90, and I regret it often, and I traded him for an ICOM 5100 ID, I think is what it is, ID 5100. I have never ever powered it on.
Is my 5100 in that mix? No, that wasn't mine. I sold mine to somebody else. Oh, I sold mine to, my 5100 went to Ryan. That's right.
They're
There
saying
was some
that
complicated three-way trade between me, you, and Thump over parts and stuff.
there was.
I don't remember.
There is
it all.
a comment around there. Why would the guts make a difference? All the parts come from the same country. Countries are
How do you
large,
put them
like
together?
U.S. and China, and they're big countries. And not everything, like Apple iPhones, are made in China, but so are some of those Huawei knockoff iPhones that don't perform as well, right? So it's not that China's not capable of sophisticated engineering. It's that a lot of times they use subpar components. And I'm not saying the G90 did or didn't, but I'd hazard a guess that the quality control at Yaesu is probably a little bit better.
Martin, thank you for the $2 super chat.
Oh, I thought you already said that one.
Well,
Thank you.
no,
Martin.
I didn't because Ape was preaching.
All right.
Martin's throwing some money on the table, Chuck. So work your moneymaker, son.
Give him a little shake. There you go.
Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake.
And I was talking about Hertz here. Hertz says,
Sorry.
Hertz says, good morning, crew, and good hunting on the JS8 QSO call party today. JS8 call QSO party today. Boy, I said that backwards.
Say that 3 times fast.
Well, so it's just Chuck getting me all excited here. Whipping out his tool.
I don't know how to use it, man.
So I don't want to make this a Chinese video. You say they'll come out of the same Chinese shop. That may or may not be true. I don't know. I've never been there. I didn't witness it. But what I can tell you is things like batteries all come out of the same Chinese shop. And once the batteries are assembled and built, they go through a grading process, and they grade them A through E, A being the best and E cells being the worst. The A cells get wrapped and branded for higher end companies, and the E cells and everything in between get wrapped and branded based off of what companies want to buy. If you don't believe me, go on Amazon, buy Trustfire 18650s and do capacity tests on them, and then buy something like an Olight 18650 and you'll see, or a Surefire 18650, and you will see significant difference in output and runtime.
So the other thing is, if you go to a restaurant in America, all of the food in the restaurant comes from 2 companies, Kraft or Cisco.
Right.
Yep.
SYSCO. So I mean, it's
Well-
like which one of the 16 similar restaurants do you want to go to for dinner tonight?
And speaking for the old people in the crowd, VCRs, there was only ever 3 companies that made VCRs.
Right.
And I think one of them was Toshiba, Panasonic, and somebody else. Hitachi, I believe. The guts were all the same. Didn't matter if you bought your VCR at Montgomery Ward's or Sears or J.C. Penney's. Yes, I bought a VCR from J.C. Penney's in the year of our Lord, 82. All the crap came from the same companies. All of it. And it's that way with a lot of stuff. So, and I'm sure
Well, it's like
some
that
of
with HTs, right? Like most
Yep.
of these, like when you look at HTs from,
we've seen this. Oh yeah.
right, it doesn't matter which brand you look at. They're all being made by 1 or 2 manufacturers.
Chuck, Ron threw a 10 on the stage, so you need to.
You shake that thing.
I mean, Ron may want to go to the champagne room for 10. I'm just saying.
Right. I think I cut it just a little short, but I think it'll work.
Marvin's saying he loves the Poseidon. And what did you use at Field Day, Marvin? Were you using the Poseidon or did you have the Apollo? I don't remember. And he kept his notes on his tuner setting, so he's in the ballpark.
Who uses a manual tuner the way Baby Jesus intended?
Oh, I don't think so.
Sweet little innocent manual tuner using baby Jesus.
That's the one.
I'm heathen Saul on the road to Tarsus with my auto tuner. If we're going to get biblical, I can out biblical y'all. I got to go collect taxes. I ain't got time for a manual tuner.
Well, I mean, the worst part about the whole like Cisco Kraft thing with restaurants is like you want to go to a local mom and pop restaurant. It's the same food as if you go to Outback, you know.
Right.
The wings come out of the same frozen bag.
The same
as they
dead
do at
chickens.
the gas station. Yeah.
The same
You
dead
go to
chickens.
Quick Trip,
When I was a kid, my grandfather he would refer to soda, like carbonated drink, as
Mine did too.
as slop, but he would always call it slop. He'd be like, "You always sitting around drinking that slop," and I would always get upset because he would buy like the no name brands, and I wanted like Coke or Pepsi, that kind of thing. And he would he would tell me it all comes out of the same faucet. It's exactly the same, but it ain't.
They got a top secret recipe.
Yes, Mike, Sony's the only one who made the Betamax. Hitachi, Panasonic, and whoever I said made the other ones. Where's Betamax? Oh, it's with HD, DVD, and now Blu-ray in the graveyard of unused formats.
But no, we don't use any of that stuff. Like I can't even remember the last time.
I ain't bought a Bluray in years. I don't buy
Don't go down the
discs.
red box.
Nah.
That stream whatever.
Yeah.
Redbox don't have Hallmark, son.
Aloysius?
That's right.
Yes, sir. I have a shelf of HD DVDs for my Xbox HD DVD player.
Hey, Ghostman's talking about Laserdisc. My cousin went deep on
Got
the
my
Laserdisc.
I never did those. Never did those.
Well, it was like they were like this big.
Yeah,
and
they
then
were size
and you
of
had
a-
to you had to
You
flip
had to
them.
flip it over halfway through the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I never got into 8-tracks either. I had a buddy who had hundreds of 8-tracks.
And when you're watching The Wizard of Oz and you got it synced up to Pink Floyd, and you get to that halfway mark and it all gets out of sync,
Way to
It
mess the
totally,
whole thing
Totally
up.
harsh the buzz.
harsh as your buzz. Yeah.
We had a theater here that did the Wizard of Oz Pink Floyd show.
right, Paul. all up in that manger. That's actually what it was. It wasn't Jesus in the manger. It was Jesus with the manual tuner. They just mistyped it, and it's carried on for so many years now.
That's right. You could print out a 3D print a plastic bobblehead Jesus to put on your tuner.
Hollywood's
Nice.
taking Chuck to the woodshed. He's saying, tin that wire first, son.
Hollywood worked with me on fixing my power supply, my Astron. Hollywood, ain't no foolishness in Hollywood shop.
Well, he must have the patience of Job
He did.
to work with
did.
you.
He did.
John's asking for an STL of manual tuner baby Jesus.
You're gonna have to come
We're
up
going to have to
with
do a
one.
limited edition run on the website.
Print and place bobblehead manual tuner baby Jesus.
Yeah, you could tin it first. That wouldn't have been bad.
Right, Walt? If they made a 100-watt G90 for $100 more, I think that'd be a cool radio. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're talking about the FX4 CR. Did you trade one of those? Did you have FX CR4?
Not me.
No,
I
you
think-
did. You traded it with Shane. You didn't actually technically own it.
Well, it never.
1200.
Yeah, it never stopped here, but a day. Yes, I
2 days
owned
with
one
Jim.
and traded it to Shane for a DX 1200.
Yeah, I like that.
That's right, Hollywood. Blood in.
I like that FX4.
Shane does too. I'm trying to sell the 1200. It's fun to play with. It's a nice radio. It's a great radio. I just don't need it. And
Well, you
It's
know,
just gonna
enjoy
sit
it,
out in the
move it on.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. All it's going to end up happening to it if I keep it is it's going to set out in the shop connected up to a DX commander out there and never be used. So
Once I got on the road and I realized that I'm paying a storage unit fee somewhere to have stuff collect dust that doesn't get used, I'm like, I need to move this stuff on. I need to downsize life.
yeah, I mean, I've got a 706, and the 706 sits out in the shop. It's in a go case. Probably the next time it'll be used is at Huntsville when I'm at your campsite and we're all playing radio. But
Campsite 3.
that's the 1200 is just too nice of a radio to sit around and not get used.
You ought to do a
Zig-
video showing what it looks like so we can see it.
Ziggy found us.
Oh, I had one video with it. I did one video in it. That's actually not a bad idea. I could do another one.
Uh-oh, they're wanting you to sell the 7600.
You did.
What 7600?
He sold it to Greg.
Oh, he's saying should he
The
sell an
7610.
update?
$1,000 radio.
I get that some of these old radios are classics and they're really good, but hams are crazy with the pricing on some of this stuff.
We are insane as a group of people on old radio pricing. Yes.
I mean, the question is, what are you going to get instead of the 7600?
Chuck got that soft touch. Look at that.
I don't know what this, I don't remember. What's special about the 7600? That's like a 7610 Lite previous version.
Yep. I can't tell you the differences, though, because I don't know what the 7610 has in it either.
Huh. That looks very similar to the 7610. Very similar. I don't know. I mean, if you're the only reason I would sell this and move away from it is if you're going to buy something like a Flex or move up to some super premium radio. But there ain't nothing wrong with this radio.
With what radio?
The 7600. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'll trade you a DX 1200 for a 7600. Flat out,
I've
no
tried
money.
to find the ID 52 Plus is
Can't
the new.
Yeah, I haven't found it.
Yeah, they said it was going to be released in July, so we still have 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
And I would guess that the anniversary ID 52 is probably going to be, what is the 52? Is it $500 or $600 for that thing?
It's $600 for the 52, and this is the 52 Plus.
I bet this thing is $650 or $700. You're looking at D75 money.
So here's the thing. They said it's going to come in a specially designed commemorative box.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody, maybe people do, and I just don't know. Like, does anybody care about the box? Like,
Nope.
even with the 705, they were like, the 705 box is completely, it's a colorized box.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Like,
Are you talking
I
about
took the radio out of
cardboard that
mine,
It's all in?
and it's been sitting in the closet since I got it.
Yeah, the cardboard.
Yeah, no, I throw boxes away. I know that's heretical to a lot of y'all.
You should just sell them on eBay,
Right.
Jim. You shouldn't throw them
Yeah.
away.
I saw
Sell the empty
somebody.
box.
I saw somebody selling a. What were you looking at the other day? Somebody was selling an empty box for $50, and it clearly said that for some radio thing. I don't remember what it was now.
Excuse
Joe
me.
Brett.
James in the chat is saying that he does not care.
Well, the thing is that I would like the original box to pack it in the event that I need to pack it up. But I don't need the box to have some kind of origami style opening to it. I don't need it to have, lasered pictures on it or any of that kind of crap. I don't need it to be laminated. I just want a box and packing material.
There you go. The only thing left is, and this is just a short piece of wire, and you'll hook the wire to here, solder it, put your heat shrink over if you want to, and just tune it and go, man. The 710 will pretty much tune it 80 to 6. Also, the
Sizzle
991
that
AM.
frame, Chuck. Talk a little bit about the frame.
Actually, this is one of our. We have vendors that build these, that make these for us, and this is a nylon. It's 3D printed, but it's not the. It doesn't use like what is it called? Jim always knows the difference.
Heated nozzle
doesn't-
head versus
that's-
fusion.
That's
It doesn't use the real like weed eater line stuff. It's a powder.
that's PA12 nylon, and it's multi-jet fusion. I don't know exactly. I think they spray it, or I don't know how.
I think it's like a powder.
What it
It's a
does, it
powder.
lays a powder across. It fuses it. It lays a powder
Yeah, something like
across.
that.
It fuses it. So it's 100% infill. Unlike most 3D printed stuff, you get. I mean, you can do 100% infill. I was told not to do that. You're actually better to do more outside edges than anything else to make them stronger. But
Well, I think
Really
with the 3D
durable.
printing with the nozzle, when you do use an infill at like, I don't know, say 50%, you technically have more surface area, right? Which gives it more strength. But with this stuff, you want 100% infill.
Oh, Don
We
finally
are
showed
done.
up. Yep.
I will
Don,
say,
I mean, the
this,
show started like an hour ago, buddy.
this is probably the easiest antenna we have to make, to tell you the truth, because
And I think it's
All
probably
your-
the best one we have.
all your links are, we tell you,
Walter.
25 feet for the radiating wire, and then we do four 17-foot radials.
Yeah, now
I think
depending
I-
upon like your ground composition and how high you mount this above ground, you may have to tune the radials a little bit.
Yeah,
But we would suggest starting with 17.
yeah, and then you actually take your what you want. I want it about anywhere from 6 to 8 inches off the ground, probably. I am going to try a elevated one. I think I'm going to cut a 25-foot one radial, and I'm going to try that while we're maybe up at maybe Teal, and I'll screw around with that.
You want to do
works.
tuned radials on a non-resonant antenna is what you're saying?
No, I'm going to tune it just like I tune it anyhow.
I heard a lot
It'll
of judgment
it'll
in
work
that
just
statement,
fine.
Dave.
There was.
A lot of
There
judgment
was.
in that statement.
You picked up on that,
Because
did you?
the original
Wow.
design shows 25 and 25. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise it. In fact, I need to make sure I take something to tie it off with and just see how it does. Because a lot of times, like a regular, vertical that you can raise in the air will actually perform a little better than one set to the ground. But usually, like Ape was saying, you have tuned radials for that band. I'm going to see if it works on this one. It's all about experimenting. He gave me a lot of grief about it. I go, well, what is ham radio? And it's about experimenting. So, and if I hadn't experimented with that toroid, just because I happen to have one, we'd be using something that's not quite as good for
And
your
if you're-
internal tuners.
Our good friend Arnie wants to know how much. These are $84, and we have a new website. We moved away from the previous vendor that we were using. The new one ships internationally, so you can find out there exactly how much. Arnie's a Swede, right? And he over there in
Arnie, are you United States or are you Europe?
he's in Europe, I believe.
Europe is going to be, and it depends on which carrier and how fast you want it, somewhere between 17 and $30, based on our past experience with overseas shipping. Before we did manual shipping for overseas, and we've had overseas orders, we just couldn't handle them automatically on our previous website. So
And the logistics manager says order by 11 PST and to have it shipped today.
So Chuck, I guess you're going to the post office there, buddy. Mama just said, "Go, girl."
Well,
Keep him honest,
if you order by 11, it won't get to me in time, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm on
Unless
the
you do it
website
earlier.
right now. I can fire these off to you before the show ends.
Can and will are two different
I will
things,
say
though.
I will
It's true. It's like
I will
Newport
say
time
that
coming
Kathy
up.
does mail a lot of them. And I
Chuck,
can still
we
drop
got
it
a lot of
off.
time left. You need to go back and build another antenna or something.
Mrs. Ape is asking where my wallet is. I'm going to tell her.
Ruh-roh.
You didn't give it back to me. I wasn't allowed to have it this month.
Right.
She must know where it's at. What else do you guys want to see about it? I mean, it's a pretty simple antenna, guys. It's
So Jim, you just bought a new 3D printer. What did you get? How much was it?
I got
The
the
X1 Carbon?
Hey,
no. Ape has the premier bamboo one. I bought the A1 Mini. I have other large printers. I don't need another large one. I didn't need this one. Don't tell her. I got the Bamboo Labs A1 Mini. And
He's got more 3D printers than I've got manual tuners.
That's true.
would that do our winder? Is it big enough to do our winder?
I'll run a test on. I think it is. I'd have to check. It'll be
Because
close.
for people that do well, the only problem with that one is if you do, I think you can do PETG without covering, right?
I can do PETG back here on the K1, which I've been printing some parts in PETG anyway.
My printer's got it's enclosed, so I print pretty much everything enclosed. I just open the door if I need to. But
This is the same size as a Ender 3 V2. This is 220 by 220 by 250. The A1 Mini, which is not back here, is 180 bed size. And then I think
it should do
200
it. You may have to turn
volume.
it side like at an angle
So
or something.
What was the cost on that A1, Jim?
You can get the A1 for $199 from Bamboo, and if you add the automatic material dingus, the multi-reel dingus that attaches to it,
Look at this ape. I got two.
you can get the whole thing for $350.
He hasn't finished building the antenna either. That's why he's got them left over.
No,
somebody want to buy
I
a
won't
3D
use them.
printer?
There's nothing to use them
Well,
on
no,
now.
no. I'm going somewhere, but we keep getting sidetracked. So
I
$199
know.
for the A1. Now the printing company that we use to print the winders for the antenna kits that you guys get, they use a printer that's around $6,000.
Oh, I think it's more than that.
No, it's
there's
more. It's
your,
like 50 or 60,000.
Yeah, yeah. It's, there's another
So
zero
I left
in there.
a zero off of it. All right,
Yes,
wow.
you did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so
Should have been
you
using
did.
Fortran instead of COBOL, son.
That's why we don't have one.
Stream. Yeah.
Right. We figured in about 23 years we'll saved enough money to potentially put a down payment on one.
And plus, the other issue is just production speed. You know, if it
Yeah, I
takes a
think they're
couple
fast.
hours to do one, there's a limit to how many we'd have to do just in time winder printing.
Well, the interesting thing about the one you just bought, it's still a bed slinger, but it's fast, right?
It is.
It's
a
almost as
cantilever
fast
bed
as
slinger.
apes. It's almost as fast as apes. XY he's an XY, right?
Yeah.
I had the X. I think it's X1.
You got
Chuck
a Core
Shane was-
XY.
Shane was watching you build. He says that
Mhm.
he thinks that you did a fine job, and he says it
Thanks,
looks real
Shane.
good from his perspective.
All right.
And he said you're awesome too, but
Just
I
being
wasn't
nice.
That's true. That's true.
I
That's
was
true.
going to leave that part out.
he apparently just hasn't had enough coffee yet. Shane, coffee up, son. Brian, Wally, this is a K1. I bought this when they first came out. The only problem I've ever had with this is I had the original piece of crap extruder, and Creality fixed that with a $2
Oh, did they
kit
fix it
that
for
I
you?
could. Yeah. And now it prints great. I've been printing PETG on this thing like crazy. Because I did a bunch of parts mods on the
'Cause Chuck
door and
helped
the
him with it a
winder
little
and a
bit.
bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking about moving mine down to the basement. It's upstairs right now.
You know
I'm
what
gonna try
I'm
and
printing
get
with
her
right
to move
now?
a bunch of her crap out of a closet so I can take over a closet for the 3D printers.
I'm doing a lot of
Get him off the
ASA.
kitchen table.
Check this stuff
Yeah.
out. This is
That's
ASA,
your
which is
microphone.
yeah. So this is one of the
The Chuck box.
So this is one of the ASA is one of the best stuff for outside. And here's the microphone
Where's the PTT on that thing?
right there.
Oh, there it is.
It's on the
There's
left
the-
hand side too.
And
Actual
why
microphone.
did you make that thing?
This will fit in my KX2. You know how they have that little covers that go over the front of the front. It'll fit inside that cover. Versus the one that's. Tell you the truth, the KX2 microphone is pretty big for as small as the radio is. It's pretty big, and I've actually had better. This one doesn't. This one's not really hooked up. I've got one in it.
So,
But,
Hollywood used to do microphone repairs and mods for radio stations and stuff, if I remember correctly. You should send him a picture of the guts of that thing and see what he says.
There's nothing to it. It's just a little. What's the same microphone like a ICOM uses the
Electret.
powered Letra. Yeah, I don't know how to say
Electret.
it. And then it has there's really nothing else in it except it just goes to here, which is the plug-in, and then to the switch. I know there's other ones that usually there's like resistors and stuff, and I've actually had really good. I set it up to somebody that I know, my buddy down in San Diego, and he said he thought it actually sounded better than the actual stock mic. That was him though. And somebody else may not think the same thing. I had a
Hey,
guy
man.
tell me one time.
What is he asking
guy-
about?
He's asking about 3D printers. It depends on what you want to print. If you want to print ASA and ABS, you need an enclosed printer case.
But enclosed printers also have a component of environmental control to them. Right?
Yes. And if you're
And
printing
so-
ABS or ASA, you absolutely want that.
Well, also with like the ASA, there's a fume consideration.
What I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I said
ABS is
environmental
worse.
in terms of temperature. So
Oh, when you said that, I was thinking of the stank.
yeah, some of them do have a stank to them, but also it's good to maintain consistent temperature even after the stuff's laid on the bed.
Yeah.
If you can, I would get it enclosed. And now some people take a giant cardboard box that a dishwasher or something
Yep.
came in and put it over top of them.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing about that one that Jim just bought. It would be very easy to throw something over the top of that thing, I'm sure.
Well, now see this one. This is
That's
the
pretty
K1.
small.
This is the K1. This is a 220 by 220. The same size as an Ender 3 V2. and 5,000 other bed slingers in the world. This is a Core XY though, but you can take the top off. So when I'm printing PETG, I leave the lid on. When I'm not printing PETG, I just pop the lid off.
Yeah, I do this. I just open the door
and it
on
works,
mine.
Works fine. Well, I don't want the door open because noise.
True.
But
well, yeah.
Or
I
I'll
think
whack
the
it
top
with the chair.
the top on mine. I've got a what is the brand? It's a different brand. I thought I was buying an XY because they sold that, but the one I got is a bed slinger, Flash Forge, which is really good. Tell you the truth, it prints really well, and it's like all the other ones right out of the box. You just take a couple things out and it's ready to go.
That's right, Paul.
Lon's saying he's afraid to buy one. And whatever 3D printer you buy, it will be the first and not the last.
Hey, you're on your second one?
Second, yeah.
If you're not printing stuff big, buy the one Jim just bought. $200, and Bamboo Labs right now is pretty much, unless you're getting into the real high dollar, like exotic ones that you build yourself, it's as good as anything out there.
It's an excellent printer. The printer itself is $199, and they have a deal going on, and I don't know how long it's going to last. I think it's all this month. It may be longer. I don't remember. But you can get the AMS Lite, and that stands for Automated Material System. In English, that means you can hang 4 different rolls of filament on this thing. And the way it comes, it's designed to sit beside the printer, which makes it take up a lot more desk space.
Right.
But you can 3D print a mount. Mine, I've moved my AMS is on top of the printer frame now.
Yeah, mine. I got the AMS for the carbon.
You got the X1 carbon, so it's made that way. But yeah,
the only bad thing about it's very wasteful on your. It uses a lot.
Super
if
wasteful.
you do multicolor prints, yes. And the thing about the AMS, I didn't buy it necessarily to do multicolor. Now I just have 4 reels of filament hung, and I don't have to screw around with digging out the yellow or whatever. I can change filaments by telling it.
But 3D printing is a full-time job.
It's fun. I love it. I'm always looking forward to printing something. I'm going to go print stuff.
Yeah, I print stuff all the time. I don't think Ape ever does, but
I haven't printed anything in a little while. But
these guys know I'm printing stuff every day almost.
Yeah. And Chuck, actually, I was frightened when Chuck said he was buying a 3D printer. My first thought was, oh my God, I am never going to hear the end of him asking me questions about how to 3D print. Chuck has turned into a kung fu master. Oh, did you? Oh, you fancy.
I had it back with the old guy. It took me the guys were like, I can't believe, it took me half an hour to put my ender together.
But they still can't believe you got a 3D printer?
Well, that too. I was afraid of 3D printers because I'm not a computer person. But it's even if you go to Tinkercad is so easy. I need to learn Fusion 360. Fusion 360 is a better setup, and I need to learn it because I want to progress in my designs. But Tinkercad works just fine, and it's super super easy. And if you don't know how to do something, you just go on YouTube and find out how to do it.
Yesterday, Chuck says, "Hey, somebody emailed me a PDF that I need to sign. How do I get it back to him?" And I'm like, "Oh Lord, this is going to be a tough one." But you got it worked out, right?
You know, when I brought it up on my Windows computer, it has a thing you can go to sign it, but it came out to where it was not, the pages were not correct, so I couldn't really use that one. But you were able to go in and sign on that, and I forget what it was. There's like three other ones that came up with, but they wanted you to subscribe, and I'm like, I don't need anything else to subscribe to.
Get a Mac.
I'm still not real sure how to do it. Ape gave me a way of doing it, and they didn't send it back to me. So,
oh damn,
that's these guys.
Another shot at Frank.
What?
He says his 3D prints look worse than Frank's soldering.
Wow. We better we can fix that, Don. I'm no expert, but so here's the thing: is Bamboo Lab sells a A1 and an A1 Mini. You bought the A1 Mini, Jim?
I got the Mini.
Right.
For $339, you can get the A1, which is probably 220 by 220.
No, it's actually bigger, Chuck.
Is it?
I think. I want to say it's 250.
Oh, it's 256 by 256 by 256. It's actually pretty good size. And that one's fast also, and it's a bed slinger also.
Yeah,
49 with the it's 49 with the 4-spool deal.
And the thing is with these, let me share out this picture.
Did you buy a resin printer?
No, I don't want a
I
resin
looked
printer.
at those, but too much mess.
Way too much mess. I got cats, and I'd have to move all that crap out to the shop. The old lady would lose her mind.
If I was to buy one right
if I
now,
bought a
I'd buy
resin printer.
the Bamboo Lab P1S, which is the one just below the one that Abe has. Exact same thing, except for the controller on it. There's a couple things it doesn't do, but from what I've understood, it's not a huge difference.
So
But
this is
but it's only $600.
This is the mini, and so this is a 180 by 180 millimeter bed, and I think 200 high, maybe 180. I can't remember.
let's see.
Probably says it in here. And
Hold on, we got a nerd alert.
okay,
Prepe and Paul only uses resin printers for miniatures and tabletop game stuff.
okay. That
It's
Do,
like-
do you
like
wear a
saying-
costume when you play those games? Like, do you dress up like a wizard
Paul,
or,
you should
or
not
paladin
have
or
said
anything like
that.
that?
should not
It
have
sounds
said
like
that.
what Paul just said was he uses a manual tuner.
Yeah, like another
And you
dork
just,
in
and you
this
just
stream.
put it in everybody's face, right?
So
Like a vegan.
this is the printer here, and this is 199. And then if you
Nice.
add this on, this is 149. So you can get the combo for 349. For another $100, you can get the larger one. These are bed slingers, which means the bed down here slides forward and backward, and that's how you get your XY component. What's nice about these, and part of what makes them so fast, is they're using linear rails for the drive, which is, it still belts pulling it, but it's on linear rails, so it works a lot smoother. And Chuck is not incorrect. It is fast for a bed slinger. Holy moly, this thing is fast.
That's
So-
the only thing I regret about my Flash Forge is it's not real fast. It prints really good though, but not really fast.
And when they were talking about wasteful, if you print something like this with multiple colors on one layer, especially, it adds an inordinate amount of time to the print. But it also
Right.
has to do this little cycle to purge the previous color. So yes, it poops a lot, and you go through a lot of filament. But it's a very. I told my wife, because Julie does not care about 3D printers, and we were talking
wife
the other day.
doesn't
She was asking, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's another 3D printer." Then I got an eye roll and some snark.
At least you didn't get the rolling pin again.
Right? I didn't get beat on, but I told her, I said, "This is probably the easiest 3D printer out of any of the ones, including the K1, which was not rocket science. This is the easiest 3D printer I've ever had to set up. There's nothing to setting this up."
Don says that ham radio for non-techies prints great costumes. And we're not judging, but I stopped playing dress-up games when I was in middle school. But I get that some people still enjoy
That
it.
late? That late?
Right.
Late bloomer?
Thank you.
And you're right, John. It will yeet the poop. Yes, one of the first things I printed was a poop catcher with a high guard. I made the big green monster so it would catch the poop.
Yeah, there's buckets that you can print. They're actually super handy
Yes.
for projects. So like I'll print one
Yeah.
out, and then if I have a project,
Right.
I'll put all the parts that I need for the project in the bucket.
Yep. Yep.
The only problem with me doing something like that, it would take me like my printer takes like 6 to 10 hours to print something like that, probably, which is
What probably takes me about an hour.
that's the thing. That's the thing they don't tell you about 3D printing and how long it takes.
Well, like the thing is, I have an ender, and I would
got
want to
right up
print
there.
something. It would take 20 hours, and I did not trust leaving that thing on and running for 20 hours unsupervised.
Some of those original enders had problems with catching fire too.
Yeah, and so it just was. It was very unnerving.
Macy wants me to print a minion for her.
Nice.
And the design she found will take up almost the entire bed of the A1 Mini. And the estimated print time in 4 colors is 48 hours, 2 days, 23 hours. I don't know, it's like over 2 days of nonstop printing.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to throw that ender in the trash, but I'll probably take the power supply off.
I
But
gave mine away.
You know,
Mine has got a bunch of
last-
stuff, mods and stuff done to it. I don't want to. Whoever you give it to is going to be perpetual end user support, right? And
Well, there's another nerd at work who has a bunch of mini figurines all over his desk at work. He works in IT. And
I know the
Yeah.
type.
Jim.
and he's a Twitch streamer, okay? And I'm like, you know what? Hey, Sean, do you want this printer? It needs work. It's had some modifications. He's like, yeah, I'll take it. There you go. I gave it to him. I said, don't call me. I don't know you. If you talk to me about this printer, you're dead to me. So I got rid of it. I gave it to him. Anyway. So there was one question I was going to answer about 3D printers, and I know we're kind of got 3D printer centric here.
Hey,
Somebody
actually,
asked.
if Shane's
I think
still
it
here,
was-
ask him if he wants the. Shane, do you want the
Shrink wrap.
shrink wrap on it? I personally don't put it on usually. I don't care.
I don't, in the event that you have to work on it.
Yeah, I don't want shrink wrap.
Because I'll leave it off if you don't want it on there. It does protect it a little bit. I do believe that a lot of these companies that put it on there and then you have problems overheating, I think that's part of the problem.
Somebody was asking, and I can't find the comment now, but I remember the comment was asking about they didn't understand Core XY bed slinger. So on this printer behind me, this is a Core XY, and it's the same kind that Ape has, which means the bed just only goes up and down, and then there's a rail system that moves the print head in the X axis and the Y axis. The bed starts at the top, and as it does the first layer, then it goes down and down and down. So that's a Core XY. The bed slingers are the first ones that were consumer printers for the most part, like an Ender 3 V2, which there's 500 million of them in the world. And it has a rail, a screw system that drives a bar up and down. So this handles the Z axis for printing. The bed does not go up and down, but the bed goes back and forth, only in the Y direction. So as the bed goes back and forth, forward and backward, this head moves, and that lets you get your 3 dimensions to print. So that's a bed slinger. And then the third kind of printer is called a delta, and they're round. They'll have a round base, and it has 3 sets of 2 arms that move the print head. So
And they're much faster, right? When you move the
they
print
are
head
faster,
versus the
yeah.
bed.
Yeah, they are faster because and the bed does not move at all in any way. The bed doesn't go up, down, forward and backward. It sits. The complete XY motion happens by the arms moving up and down and making the thing slide sideways and whatever. And
they're
because
fast
of that,
because
they're fast.
it's
There's a whole lot less crap moving.
The head on it's real light too, right? That's and that has a lot to
They're
do
asking
with
how bed slingers deal with depth. The nozzle moves up and down. Actually, it just really moves up. It doesn't come. It doesn't come.
It
back
moves
down.
up. Yep.
And there's nothing
Now,
wrong
Core
with them
XY,
except the speed.
Yeah, and that's what the A1s, the low end, and they are low end based on price. The low end bamboo printers are the shiz because they print stupid fast for a bed slinger.
Okay,
I mean, they're printing delta speeds. My big FL Sun Super Racer, that A1 Mini can print almost as fast as that Super Racer can.
They're saying that they make the laser kits for the Ender 3s. And that's what my first one was an Ender 3. It was I think it was the original. It might be a V2. I have no idea. And leveling the
kit?
bed of that thing was always a huge hassle.
Pain.
So the X1 Carbon does all of that for you.
Yep. So does the A1.
Does it do it every time? It does it every time you print, right? It levels.
You can turn it on and off. You can turn it off. You
No,
don't
I
have
just
to have
put-
it to a bed level, but
I put one of those bendable ones on my FlashForge, and I had to leave the glass plate down because when I took it off, there was nothing really to glue to or to tape it to. And it
Don-
does seem like I need to adjust my bed more often than I used to, but I've been not doing it dialed in. He always told me the same thing. What is it he always tells you, Abe? You need to extrude. Your extrusion doesn't look right. But what he
Your
figured out
extrusion's not
for me,
extruding correctly.
oh, thump.
but what he really figured out for me was I didn't have the bed quite close enough. As soon as I got it close, it gets that nice finish on it now. You guys saw the finish. That's what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can.
If you had your extrusion fixed, it'd be better. I mean, it's the
Whoa,
minimum amount of
Arnie.
flare.
Put the pocket protector away, son.
Don was asking a legitimate question, which, kind of shocked me. It wasn't complete snark. And now that question's gone, and I don't remember what it was.
Don, ask
Sticking
your question
parts.
again.
Don. Yeah, that just kind of depends on the bed material. If you're printing on a smooth bed, you need to use something like a glue stick or blue tape, especially with PETG, because
Yeah, I
it
use the
will
blue.
actually rip the surface of the bed up.
It will.
Ask
Yeah, I
me
don't
how
use
I know.
anything.
Ask me.
I don't use anything on the PETG, but the ASA, I am using a little bit of Aquanet. And people think Aquanet makes a mess, but it really doesn't. I put just a little bit, so I don't have to do like a raft. Because when you put a raft on there, it changes the texture of your print, and you have to pull that damn thing off.
So this is
There you go.
this is a smooth bed, and the stripes you see on there are this crap. And what this is actually for is to help release the print. I printed
Makes it stick and then
PETG.
makes it release. Yeah.
I printed PETG on this without enough stuff on it, like 2 weeks ago.
You need
And
a putty knife to get it off.
It tore the bed. It literally tore. This is like a film on here. It tore the whole thing apart.
Here we go. Aquanet solves everything. And you were right. Like it works really well for potato guns.
It
Yeah.
does. It does gum those up a little bit.
And
though.
you can use glue stick. You can use Aquanet. This crap is a whole lot less messy and easier to mess with. And plus,
Is that the
it's a much-
branded glue? Is that like the bamboo glue or whatever?
No, this is Magic Goo. Chet recommends this. So
Yeah.
Chet,
You talk
is
Chep,
like the
like you guys are buddies. I
Chet-
just use
Chet
that
is
Elmer.
They
no,
are.
He's my spirit. He's my god.
He's my 3D print Elmer.
He's my 3D print god. He's not
I've used
Elmer.
both. I've used both. The Aquanet is way easier and cleaner
Whatever.
for me. It is.
There you go.
You haven't used it. Try it, dude.
I'm not getting a can of damn hairspray. I don't need it.
Because you ain't
Yeah,
got
you
no hair
do.
left,
I've
son?
seen your hair. I've seen
Here
your
we
hair
go.
get all messed up.
Starting fluid.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh
That'll
yeah,
work.
that's
That'll get the
good for
prints off.
potato guns. That's good for
That'll
potato
get the
guns.
prints off.
So I went through a whole
Richie,
thing trying
thank
to
you
get
for
stuff.
the $4 super sticker.
Yeah, thank you, Richie.
Thank you, Richie.
I
Use
would-
the deoxit.
I went
Brake
through
cleaner.
a bunch of ways of trying to get stuff to stick, and one of the things that you can use is the blue painter's tape. Oh my god, I could not get the thing. I thought I was going to do what Jim was saying. It stuck so good that
Well, the
I
flexible
almost had to get a
bed,
chisel out.
the flexible bed that comes with the carbons, you can kind of flex it a little bit,
Yep.
and sometimes that helps
Yeah.
pop it.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
and
I use
always
a
let it cool
plastic
out,
putty knife.
otherwise.
I use a plastic putty knife to get under there and pop it off.
I want to get a plastic one because
The metal one's
the hardest part I take off is that first little line that goes around because it's thin. That's the hardest thing to get off. And I bought a nice textured bed, which it's textured on one side and smooth on the other. I know I like the textured, but I know Thump likes the smooth. To get it to really smooth, you got to get it really dialed in.
Paul is flying his flag fully and high. Real nerds use resin. Paul, I have cats. There ain't no way I'm having a resin printer sitting anywhere around here. I'd have a cat covered in resin.
He fires that up, starts an episode of Game of Thrones, puts his outfit on, prints his
Right.
Hey, don't you talk about Game of Thrones.
Listen, I swear by the old gods anew.
That's right.
Love that show.
Are you for the greens or the blacks?
The blacks. I don't like the
blacks.
I don't like the what's it called?
Smarmy
Game of
little-
Dragons or something? Is that what it's called? The new ones?
House of the
House
Dragon.
of Dragons.
Yeah.
I don't like that as much as the original series.
I think it's almost as good. Last week was
I did not see last week yet, so let's just stop talking about it now.
okay. I saw it coming. You'll go, holy crap! I can't believe they did that. One weird trick.
John, I
go.
still have with the ASA. I've printed on the PEI without it. Depends on the print. If it doesn't have a whole lot of space and I don't want to do a raft, I do use a little hairspray because I was doing stuff like these things here. Let me show this to you.
I thought that was your prescription bottle.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
it
this
is.
is
It's his heart
this is
pill.
let me show you. So you have two parts. This is for power poles, and it's something you can print yourself. And because there's not much surface here, I use a little hairspray on both of those, just so they do stick. Because I don't like using a raft, because like I said, you don't get the nice texture finish, and then the raft, you have to pull the raft off, and it's just I'm lazy. I guess.
Paul, I'm with you on that one. Both of those.
I don't know what he's talking about. Reacher and
those-
Boys.
There's a Reacher, Jack
different
Reacher,
shows.
on
Jack Reacher.
on Amazon, and The Boys on Amazon. They're great shows. They're not Game of
Oh,
Thrones
are
level
the new
great, but they're
Reacher?
really damn good.
The Reacher
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, yeah. It's
there was
actually pretty
also
good.
There was also the movies too. Reacher. I think that was Reacher was.
Yeah.
What's
That was
his
Tom
face?
Cruise
The runner.
played-
The runner. Yeah.
Played Tom.
The Running Man. The Running Man.
Running
Yeah.
Man.
Except the difference is, I've read all the Reacher books actually, like in a book.
Nerd.
Yes.
Mom,
And
I don't 3D print. I have enough work to do.
Tom Cruise is a little tiny to actually play Reacher based on the books. The new guy is more what they describe.
Compared to that guy, because Tom Cruise is a little bitty guy.
Yeah,
but
I mean he's not
he's a
like
good. He's a dramatic runner though. So look up Tom Cruise running in movies, and there's all kinds of stuff.
I mean he's like Ham Radio 2.0 next to Good Game. Difference.
No, he actually makes 2.0 look short. That's not hard.
All right. Are we ready to hit the button?
We're ready to hit the button. Thank you, everybody.
Any more questions? I guess not. And I don't
guess
have to
not.
put the heat shrink on either. Later, all.
Guys, thank y'all.
Thank you.